What if I told you that one simple two-letter word could completely transform your productivity, reduce your stress, and actually accelerate your path to success? That word is no, and learning to say it effectively is one of the most powerful skills you'll ever develop for creating boundaries that protect your time and energy. But here's the problem most of us face. We say yes to everything. Every request, every opportunity, every social obligation that comes our way. We think we're being helpful, productive, or seizing opportunities. But what we're actually doing is spreading ourselves so thin that we become ineffective at everything. Boundaries aren't walls that keep people out. They're guidelines that help you preserve your most valuable resources, your time, energy, and mental space. When you set clear boundaries, something magical happens. You create space for what truly matters, and your productivity skyrockets in the areas where you choose to focus. Let's start with the most common boundary violation: overcommitment. You know that feeling when you're juggling so many projects that none of them get your best effort. This happens because we haven't learned to protect our capacity. Every yes to something unimportant is an automatic no to something that could be life-changing. The first type of boundary you need to master is the time boundary. This means getting crystal clear about how you spend your hours each day. Start by identifying your peak energy hours, those times when you're naturally most focused and creative. These hours are sacred and should be protected fiercely. During these peak hours, you don't take meetings about other people's priorities. You don't scroll social media. You don't even check email unless it's absolutely critical. This might feel selfish at first, but here's the truth. Protecting your peak hours isn't selfish, it's strategic. It's how you ensure your best work gets done. The second crucial boundary is your energy boundary. Not all tasks drain you equally, and not all people leave you feeling energized or depleted. Pay attention to which activities and interactions fill your tank versus which ones empty it. This isn't about avoiding all challenging situations. It's about recognizing when someone consistently drains your energy without contributing value to your life or goals, and limiting your exposure accordingly. Energy vampires are real, and they will gladly consume all the mental bandwidth you're willing to give them. Your job is to ration that bandwidth wisely. The third boundary type is your attention boundary. In our hyper-connected world, your attention is under constant assault from notifications, interruptions, and urgent requests. Protecting your attention means creating systems that filter out the noise and allow you to focus deeply on what moves the needle in your life. This might mean turning off notifications during work hours, setting specific times for checking messages, or simply learning to let non-urgent requests wait. Now, here's where many people get boundary setting wrong. They think boundaries have to be harsh, cold, or mean. That's not true at all. The most effective boundaries are set with warmth and clarity. You can be kind while still being firm about your limits. For example, instead of just saying, "I can't help you," try, "I understand this is important to you, and I'm not available to take this on right now." Or better yet, offer an alternative. "I can't do this, but here's someone who might be able to help." Or, "I'm available for this conversation next Thursday at 2. The key is consistency. When you set a boundary, you have to maintain it. Every time you cave, you train people that your boundaries are negotiable. This brings us to the most important truth about boundaries. They're not about controlling other people's behavior. They're about controlling your own response. You can't make someone respect your time, but you can choose not to give your time to people who consistently disrespect it. You can't make someone value your expertise, but you can choose not to give free advice to people who don't implement what you share. You can't make someone communicate respectfully, but you can choose to end conversations when they become unproductive or hostile. Here's the part most people skip. Before you can set boundaries with others, you need to set boundaries with yourself. This means stopping yourself from checking email first thing in the morning, from saying yes impulsively before considering the cost, or from working late just because you feel guilty. Self-boundaries are often harder to maintain than boundaries with others, because there's no external accountability. It's just you, your values, and your willpower. Start small. Pick one area where you know you need better boundaries. Maybe it's not checking your phone for the first hour of the day. Maybe it's leaving work at work instead of bringing it home mentally. Maybe it's saying no to social events when you're feeling overwhelmed. Practice with low-stakes situations first. As you build your boundary-setting muscle, you'll find it easier to maintain limits in more challenging circumstances. Remember, every boundary you set creates space for something better. When you say no to mediocre opportunities, you make room for extraordinary ones. When you protect your energy from draining relationships, you have more to invest in the people who truly matter and support your growth. Boundaries aren't about building walls, they're about creating the conditions where you can do your best work and live your most authentic life. Your future self is counting on you to make the hard choices today that will create the freedom and success you want tomorrow. So here's your challenge. Identify one boundary you need to set this week. Not next month, not when things calm down this week, because the person you're becoming requires the protection that only clear, consistent boundaries can provide. And that transformation starts with your very next decision to choose yourself.